Hello friends and welcome. In this video, we are going to see the topic promoters. It's their types, functions, duties, rights and legal positions. So let's start the video. So content of this video will be meaning and definition of promoters, types of promoter, function of promoters, duties of promoters, rights, liabilities, legal position of a promoter, and remuneration of promoters, and pre-incorporation contracts. Promoters. Promoter means the person who initiate the idea of formation of a company and completes the all stages in the formation of a company. That person who carries out all the stages in the formation of a company, that person is called as a promoter. The idea of a carrying on a business which can be profitably undertaken is conceived either by a person or by a group of persons who are called as the promoters. After the idea is conceived, the promoters make detailed investigations to find out the weaknesses and strong points of the idea, to determine the amount of capital required, and to estimate the operating expenses and probable income. The term promoter is a term of business and not of law. It has not been defined anywhere in the Act, but number of judicial decisions have attempted to explain it. So let's understand the definition of a promoters. Section 2 subsection 69 of the Companies Act 2013 says promoter means a person who has been named as such in a prospectus or is identified by the company in the annual return referred to in section 92, or who has control over the affairs of the company directly or indirectly, whether as a shareholder, director or otherwise, or in accordance with whose advice, directions or instructions the board of directors of the company is ac- accustomed to act. So, provided that subclauses shall not apply to a person who is acting merely in a professional capacity. So, this is the definition which is given as per Companies Act 2013. Now, according to SEBI, their issue of capital and disclosure requirement regulation 2019, promoter includes the person who or a persons who are in a control of the issuer, the person or persons who are instrumental in formation of a plan or a program pursuant to which specified securities are offered to a public, or the person or persons named in the offer document as a promoters. So this is the two definition which is given in Companies Act and SEBI's ICDR issue. So this is the definition. Apart from these two definition, other writers and uh, thinker has given a definition which is I have given here. So you can write these definitions too in your exam. From these definitions of promoter, it is concluded that promoter is the person who originates the idea for formation of a company and gives the practical shape to that idea with the help of his own resources and with that of others. A person cannot be hailed as a promoter merely because he has signed at the foot of the memorandum or that he has provided money for the payment of a formation of a company. The promoters, in fact, render a very useful services in the formation of a company. A promoter has been described as a creator of wealth. The promoters carry considerable risk because of because if the idea sometimes goes wrong, then the time and money spent by them will be in a waste. In the words of Henry Higland, a successful promoter is a creator of wealth. He is able to visualize what does not yet exist and to organize business enterprise to make the product available to the using public. A promoter may be an individual, a firm, an association of persons, or even a company also. Now, types of promoters. Professional promoters. These are the persons who specialize in a promotion of companies. They hand over the companies to shareholders when the business starts. In India, there is a lack of professional promoters. In many other countries, professional promoters have played an important role and helped the business community to great extent. In England, issue houses, in USA, in investment banks, and in Germany, joint stock banks have helped played the role of the promoters very appreciably. Next, occasional promoters. These kind of promoters are not professional promoters. They sometimes take interest in promotion. They are not in promotion work on a regular basis but take up the promotion of some company and then go to their earlier profession. For instance, engineers, lawyers. Next, financial promoters. Some financial institutions may take up the promotion of a company. They generally take up this work when the financial environment is favorable. Then next, entrepreneur promoter. They are both entrepreneur as well as promoter. They conceive the idea of new business unit, do the groundwork to establish it, and may subsequently become a part of management. Institutional promoters. The institutions set up by the government, such as the Industrial and Financial Corporation of India, they known as the institutional promoters. So these are the types of promoters. Next, functions of promoters. There are following functions of the promoters. One, to conceive an idea of forming a company and explore its possibilities, to conduct the necessary negotiations for the purchase of business in case it is intended to purchase as existing business. In this context, the help of experts may be taken if considered necessary. To collect the requisite number of persons, that is 7 in case of public company and 2 in case of private company, who can sign the memorandum of association and articles of association of the company and also agree to act as the first director of the company. Now, uh, promoter has to functions in deciding the following things, that is name of the company, location of register office, amount and form of its share capital, brokers or underwriters for their capital issue, appointment of bankers, appointment of auditors and legal advisors. Then, to get the memorandum of association and articles of association drafted and printed, to make preliminary contracts with vendors, underwriters, to make arrangements for the preparation of prospectus, its filling, advertisements and issue of capital, to arrange for the registration of a company and obtain the certificate of incorporation, to bear preliminary expenses, to arrange the minimum subscription. So these are the functions of the promoters. Now, duties of the promoters. To disclose the secret profit. It's a duty of the promoter to disclose secret profit if they have earned. Disclose the all material facts regarding the company. The promoter must make good to the company what he has obtained as a trustee. Duty to disclose private arrangements. Duty of promoter against the future allottees of the shares. Now, rights of the promoters. First, right of indemnity. So, where more than one person act as the promoter of the company, one promoter can claim against another promoter for the compensation and damages paid by him. Promoters are severally and jointly liable for any untrue statement given in the prospectus and for the secret profit. Then next, right to receive the legitimate preliminary expenses. So as you know, promoters incurred preliminary expenses, they have a right to get that back. Then right to receive the remuneration. Generally, a promoter has no right against the company for his remuneration unless there is a contract to that effect. However, the promoters are usually the directors, so that in practice, the promoters will receive their remuneration. Now, liabilities of the promoters. First liability is the liability to account in profit, that if they have earned any profit, then liability for misstatement in the prospectus, if they have given any misstatements in the prospectus, they will be held up liable. Then personal liability of the promoters, then liability at the time of winding up of the company. So in the course of winding up of the company on an application made by the official liquidator, The court may make a promoter liable for a breach of trust or any uh, provide any misleading or any invalid entering in an invalid contract. So these are the liabilities of the promoters. Then most important thing, the legal position of a promoters. From exam point of view, this question may ask: the promoter is neither a trustee nor an agent of the company because there is no company yet in existence. The correct way to describe his legal position is that he stands in a fiduciary position towards the company about to be formed. Lord Keynes has correctly stated the position of a promoter that the promoters of a company stand undoubtedly in a fiduciary position. They have in their hands the creation and molding of the company. They have the power of defining how and when and in what shape and under what supervision it shall start into existence and begin to act as a business organizations. So this is the legal position of the promoters. So from the fiduciary position of promoters, the two important results follow. Number one, a promoter cannot be allowed to make any secret profits. If it is found that in any particular transactions of the company he has obtained a secret profit for himself, he will be bound to refund the same to the company. And second, the promoter is not allowed to derive a profit from the sale of his own property to the company unless and until all material facts are disclosed. If he contracts to sell his own property to the company without making a full disclosure, the company may either uh, resign the sale or affirm the contract and recover the profit made out of it by the promoters. Now, remuneration of a promoters. So, a promoter has, as I said, the promoter has no right against the company for his remuneration unless there is a contract. In some cases, article of the company provide for the directors paying a specified amount to promoters for their services, but this does not give the promoters any contractual right to sue the company. This is simply an authority vested in the directors of the company. However, the promoters are usually the directors, so that in practice, the promoters will receive their remuneration. A commission, and that may be in a form of a commission may be paid to the promoter on the purchase price of the business or property taken over by the company through him. The promoters may be granted by a company a lump sum amount. The promoters may be given a fully or partially paid shares in consideration of their services rendered. The promoter may be given a commission at a fixed rate on the shares sold. The promoter may purchase the business or other property and sell the same to the company at an inflated price. He must disclose this fact also. The promoters may take an option to subscribe within a fixed period of for a certain portion of the company's unissued shares at par. Whatever may be the nature of remuneration, but it must be disclosed in the prospectus if paid within the preceding 2 years from the date of prospectus. Again, most important thing, that is preliminary contracts or pre-incorporation contracts made by the promoters. Generally, promoters entered in many contracts before a formation of a company. Such contracts or such deals is called as a preliminary contracts or pre-incorporation contracts. Preliminary contracts are those contracts which are made by the promoters with different parties on behalf of the company yet to be incorporated. It means the company is not still incorporated. Such contracts are generally entered into by promoters to acquire some property or right for and on behalf of the company to be formed. The promoters enter into preliminary contracts generally as agents or a trustee of the company. Such contracts are not legally binding on the company because two consenting parties are necessary to contract, whereas the company is not a entity before incorporation. So, in simple words, preliminary contracts means the contracts which promoter has entered before the incorporation of a company. So that's it from this video. We have seen all the detailed things about promoters, their meaning, definitions, types of promoters, liabilities of promoters, duties, rights, legal position, remuneration, and pre incorporation contracts also. So, thank you so much